Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Matt with Garden Distractions. Glad you could make it. Today I'm going to be working the land right back here just to get rid of the weeds that I have here, and then I'm going to plant a Astilbe that has already gone dormant and a tree form Mugo pine. They are only temporary just so that they are in the ground and can winterize over, as I do not have a greenhouse to put them in. Hopefully they do the trick and I can actually get them to come back next year. It is a little bit late for gardening, but as long as you don't have a really hard frost that's going to actually freeze over your soil, you can still go ahead and plant. It is Monday, October 25th, and I'm cutting it pretty close to be doing this, but I plan on planting those two and then also putting in some tulips. I will show you how I go about doing that. So here we go. So I'm just doing this corner that's underneath the honeysuckle. I'm going to work up the weeds and then maybe get rid of some of the rocks. There are a little bit of rocks here, so I'm going to hopefully get rid of those. And the Astilbe is going to go back here, probably right behind me here. And then I'm going to put the Mugo pine right in the corner there. Or I think I'm going to put it right at the top here. Maybe like right here. So this is about halfway in my garden, and it is on a big slope. I don't know if you can really see that, but I do have quite a bit of slope that I'm dealing with here, so I think if I put the Mugo pine right at the top here, that will keep all the moisture away from the Mugo pine, because Mugo pines do not like a lot of moisture, whereas the Astilbe can be nice and moist down here. And my backyard is east facing, so it only gets sun from when the sun rises until about 11, 12 o'clock. We're sitting at 3 o'clock here now, and we're in full shade. So I think my garden will be a shade-loving garden, which I'm really looking forward to. The tulips that I'm planting can go in full sun to part shade, so I do expect that they will flower a lot later because they're going into pretty much full shade. So I'm just going to work the soil and get rid of the weeds, and then I'm going to make a little bit of a border here. Not too much, just because I'm going to be redoing this next year. I have my knee pads on so I don't get completely dirty and my back doesn't get all hurt because I'm bending over like crazy. I also got my gardening gloves and my gardening fork. Here we go. Now that's all cleared up, I am going to now grab the plants and the shovel. I'm going to start digging a couple of holes for those plants. So there's the hole. It's about a foot deep. You can see a lot of roots. I'm getting clay already, and I am getting rocks. I don't know what the reason is for all the rocks here, but I do have quite a few. I'm going to take the Astilbe out of the pot, and I'm going to see if I need to dig any further down. It is kind of difficult to dig here because of this honeysuckle. Oh yeah, so this Astilbe roots look pretty healthy. I'm not seeing a lot of root bound, so that's really good. I'm going to take a lot of the soil that's on here off, just so that I can introduce a lot more of the native soil that I'm working with to the plant so they can grow faster for next year. And you see that the soil is rather wet. We did just get a really good downpour on Saturday, so just quite a lot of water to this Now, I did make this hole a bit bigger than I should have, so I'm just going to backfill it a bit. Okay, I have my hole dug, and I'm going to now take my Mugo pine out of its pot, place it, and see how much further I need to go for my hole. When digging your hole, you want to make sure that you're digging your hole about twice the size of your pot so that it allows your roots to naturally grow into the native soil a bit faster. So that's why I'm doing that. Hopefully I have enough space for that. Oh, and that's perfect. So again, I am on a slant on a hill, so I want to make sure that my backside has the right amount of soil compared to my front side so that the water doesn't just accumulate to the backside of the plant here. So I'm going to make sure that's even. Now, while doing this part as well, you want to try to make sure that you can get your plant positioned as straight as possible to where you want it to be. So I am pretty comfortable with it being this way here. The trunk has a little bit of a curve to it, which is quite nice. And I think I want it about there. That's probably about as straight as I'm going to need to get it. Now we're just going to backfill. I'm also going to create a little bit of a well around it so that the water does not end up spilling over and it can saturate the roots a bit more. And then I'll do the same thing with the Astilbe. And there we are. So Astilbe in the bottom corner there, and the Mugo pine at the top. Looks really nice and clean. The next thing I'm going to do is take my drill with the auger. It is about a 2-inch auger. I'm going to drill a bunch of holes for my tulips. I do have 50 tulips that I'm going to be planting. It is a mixture. I'll put it on the screen for you so you can see what it looks like. The only downfall that I see with a mixture like this is that you don't know where your tulips are going to come up per color-wise. So you could get a bunch that are like, say, white over here, some pink, some green, whatever colors you have. So I'm going to disperse them, and then I'm going to drill my holes and plant them. So the tulips that I went with are the Tulip Triumph. These are from Costco. It was a pack of 50 bulbs for, I think they were $20. I do not 100% recall, but I think that was the price of them. So I have some white, orange, and pink that we're going to be putting in. Add some nice color in the backyard here. And for planting them, we're going to plant them about 4 to 6 inches in depth and about 4 inches apart. I might be pushing them a little bit further apart just so that I can get more of a show and cover this area, because I think I might need a little bit more than 50 to fill this area. These do require full cent apart shade. The bulb side are 12 centimeters plus. They will flower in mid-spring to late spring. I'm probably thinking more the late spring, as they are going into more of a full shade application. They will get to be 16 to 20 inches tall with the flower, and here we go. Now, one other thing that I want to mention when planting up tulips is they need to be going into the soil like this. So at the top, you have the top of the tulip where the actual stem is going to come out of, and then the bottom is where your roots are. So as long as they're pointing up like this, the bulk end is at the bottom, the small tip is at the top, your plants will grow just fine. If you can see, I have Luna with me here. She's very curious of what I'm doing today. Alright, there we go. So I got the Mugo pine, the Astilbe, and the tulips planted. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm excited to see these tulips come out and see what they look like in the spring. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It means a lot. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.